All right, Shalom. First, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Machakudash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. Um, Basically, just gonna go into this topic real quick, concerning why Israel, specifically in the not only in the wilderness, but that's the main account, why they ended up building a golden calf, and why specifically a calf and not any other animal, because we read about it in Exodus. I'm gonna pull up real quick, and we read about it, and we take the main concept of it, that what it was idolatry. All right, they were going off, okay, and the Lord was ultimately gonna what? He was gonna destroy them for that, okay. But now the question is, why did they specifically choose a golden calf? Okay, so I'm going to read the account real quick, and then Lord's willing, we'll get into it. Okay, because it goes back into Egypt. All right, as to which it all links up even till today. All right, but let me just get into it. Exodus 32 verse 1, it says, "And when the people saw that Moses delayed to come down out of the mount, the people gathered themselves," and the people being Israelites, gathered themselves together unto Aaron, and said unto him, Up, make us gods which shall go before us. For as for this Moses, the man that brought up out of the land of Egypt, or that brought us up out of the land of Egypt, we wot not what is become of him." Okay, and so they basically saying, because when Moses went into the mountain, all right, he wasn't coming back quick enough for them, basically. So they were like, you know what, to hell with this, build us the gods, all right, that we had in Egypt, okay, who they're the ones that are gonna go before us, and we're gonna worship them. And this Moses guy, yeah, we don't know, we don't think he's coming back. All right, so let's keep going. It says, "And Aaron said unto them, break off the golden earrings which are in the ears of your wives, of your sons, and of your daughters, and bring them unto me." Which shows you that it's not unlawful to have earrings, because if it was, here Aaron just mentioned their daughters and their sons. Okay. It says, "And bring them unto me. And all the people break off the golden earrings which were in their ears, and brought them unto Aaron. And he received them in his at their hand, and fashioned it with a graving tool, after he had made it a molten calf. And they said, These be thy gods, O Israel, which brought thee up out of the land of Egypt." And when Aaron saw it, he built an altar before it. And Aaron made proclamation and said, "Tomorrow is a feast to the Lord." And they rose up early on the morrow, and offered burnt offerings, and brought peace offerings. And the people sat down to eat and to drink, and rose up to play. Now, the question is here, it says here that Aaron made a molten calf. And what is a calf? A calf is like a baby cow or a baby bull. Okay. And why is this important? Is because when you go back to Egypt, okay, one of the primary gods that the Egyptians worshipped was the Apis bull. Okay. And I'm going to pull it up real quick. All right. It was the Apis bull. And that's why, being that Egypt had just, Israel had just come out of what? Egypt. Okay. So being there for so long, of course they were partaking in some of them were partaking in Egyptian customs. Okay. And they were familiarizing themselves with the Egyptian gods, which one of the primary gods was the Apis bull. All right. Which looks a little something like this. Okay. Now, there's a reason I'm not looking it up on the computer, because, it starts to act up. So it says this is the Apis bull, is an Egyptian deity, right? It says in ancient Egyptian religion, Apis or Hapis, it says here alternatively spelled Hapi Unk, was a sacred bull worshipped in the Memphis region, identified as the son of Hathor, a primary deity in the pantheon of ancient Egypt. Initially, he was assigned a significant role in her worship, being sacrificed and reborn. Later, Apis also served as an intermediary between humans and other powerful deities. All right. So this Apis bull, when you read about, let me read it here. It says the Apis bull was an important sacred animal to the ancient Egyptians. As with the other sacred beasts, Apis' importance increased over the centuries. During colonization of the conquered Egypt, Greek and Roman authors had much to say about Apis, the markings by which the black calf was recognized, the manner of his conception by a ray form, and it goes and so on and so forth. But the point is, the Apis bull was the Egyptian primary idol, all right, or one of their primary idols that they worshipped. Okay, so when Israel had just been delivered out of Egypt, you still had those Israelites that had that in their mind. That's like if the Lord was to say, all right, I'm just going to deliver all Israel, all right, from the land of America today, and we was to go to Jerusalem, or even on our way there, and this scenario was to repeat itself. You have people, bring out your cross of Jesus Christ on there. Anybody got no pictures of Jesus? Let's pray to Jesus. Let's pray to God. Let's pray to Allah. That's the equivalent. All right, but primarily what? Jesus, because the majority or the bulk of people here are so-called Christians, and that's the God that they worship, Jesus Christ, Jesus Cristo. Even though we know that's not his actual name, and he didn't look like that. But it'd be the same thing. Why? Because they've been here for so long, they've been conditioned. So just like back then, they were in Egypt for so long, they were conditioned. When they left Egypt and Moses was up in the mountain, and they said, we don't know what's going to happen to this guy. We don't know if he's coming back or not. Build us a golden calf, which was representative of the Apis bull that they worshipped back in Egypt. And that's why specifically they built a calf. They didn't build a cat. They didn't build a dog. They didn't no. All right. So now I'm going to jump down to verse 19. All right. It says here, and it came to pass. And it came to pass as soon as he came nigh unto the camp that he saw the calf. And this talking about when Moses came down. Because all that noise was going on. Lord was like, yo, go back down there, because the same people you just brought up out of Egypt, they're going off. All right. And it shows you how hard-headed Israel is, because here it is. You done went through all these different things, been delivered. And the first thing you do is just resort back to this, So it says, and he saw the calf, and it came to pass as soon as he came nigh unto the camp that he saw the calf and the dancing, and Moses' anger waxed hot. And he cast the tablets out of his hands and break them beneath the mount, because he was pissed. He was like, yo, I just went up there for you, man, for you people. All right. Went in, then got the instructions and everything. And boom, the Lord literally, because really think about it, right? Here it is. Moses done killed an Egyptian, fled from Egypt. All right. Went and lived his shepherd life for a while. The Lord called him back, said, nope, you got to go back to that area. Went back to that area, told Pharaoh so many times. Pharaoh didn't listen, had to bring those plagues. Okay. And finally, all right, after the whole thing with the Passover and the death angel and all of that, and the Lord delivering them, all right, going through the wilderness, hearing them constantly murmuring and complaining, he goes to get the laws so they can make the covenant with the Lord. And he comes back and they go right back to square one, worshiping an Egyptian god. So, I mean, of course you'd be pissed, So it says here, and he took the calf which they had made and burnt it in the fire and ground it to powder and strawed it upon the water and made the children of Israel drink of it. Damn. Yo, that's hard. That's damn, man. That's some hardcore stuff right there, man. All right. Verse 21, and Moses said unto Aaron, what did this people unto thee, that thou hast brought so great a sin upon them? All right, so he got tied at Aaron too. He was getting at Aaron, for because they came to him, all right, being that he was a priest, to build the calf. It says, and Aaron said, let not the anger of my Lord wax hot. Thou knowest the people that they are set on mischief. So, but you got to read it with context. You got to understand Moses isn't really talking right now in a calm voice. He's pissed off, So he's probably getting at Aaron. He's not just, yo, why you? No. He's getting at him, Why are you out here? You know, da da da. You supposed to know better. You know, and why? What did they do that you gonna bring? You know, and Aaron's out here. You know, because it's natural human instinct that if somebody's getting at you, you're gonna want to defend yourself. Like in the sense of their voice goes higher, your voice also goes higher, but you trying to defend yourself. You know, so he's like, "Why are you getting mad at me? You know these people. You know what the whole trip. That's exactly what they've been doing. You know." So it's just like adding the realism to it, right? So it says, let not the anger of my Lord wax hot. Don't get mad at me, you know. Thou knowest the people that they are set on mischief. So they some wicked ass people. You know this already, you know. It says, so you got to think about it. Aaron's like, I'm just one man. You got all of them coming to me telling me, yo, we could make this, you know. Verse 23, for they said unto me, make us gods which shall go before us. For as for this Moses, the man that brought us up out of the land of Egypt, we wot not what is become of him. And I said unto them, whosoever hath any gold, let them break it off. So they gave it to me. Then I cast it into the fire, and there came out this calf. And you gotta understand, because Israel be wicked. Israel be wicked to the core. Just like when Jeremiah, after the Babylonians had destroyed the temple, all right, break down the walls and all, Jeremiah was telling them, look, man, yeah, I told you not to do this. They came to him and said, yo, inquire of the Lord for us whether we should go to Egypt or what should we do. The Lord said, don't go to Egypt. They said, nah, you lying. We won't go to Egypt. And then they forcibly took him with them. You know, Jeremiah didn't want to go, but they took him with them because he was one man against the whole nation. You know, so Aaron is put in a position where they're coming at him like, this guy's gone. We want you to build this golden calf. You know, it says, verse 24, and I said unto them, whosoever hath any gold, let them break it off. So they gave it me. Then I cast it into the fire, and there came out this calf. Verse 25, and when Moses saw that so now we understand that this calf is talking about the Apis bull that the Egyptians worshipped. Okay, that Israel had picked up that god basically. All right, and when Moses was in the mountain, they said, look, build us this god here. And Aaron knew what they were talking about because Aaron he was in Egypt. Okay, just like today, even though we're not down with Jesus Christ because we know that that persona of Jesus Christ is a myth. It's created. All right, his real name is Yahushua, and he's not a so-called white looking dude. Even though we know that that's not the Messiah, we know who it is. We know if we were put in a position of being forced, all right, to do something like that, we would know how to. We would know what Jesus Christ looked like, so on and so forth. So Aaron knew what the Apis bull looked like. He knew what God they were talking about. He couldn't play dumb and be all, well, I don't know what you mean, you know. Verse 25, and when Moses saw that the people were naked, for Aaron had made them naked unto their shame among their enemies, then Moses stood in the gate of the camp and said, who is on the Lord's side? Let him come unto me. And all the sons of Levi gathered themselves unto him. And that's why Levi is what? Joined on to me. Okay. Lawyer. All right. Now, they weren't physically naked. Aaron didn't tell them, yo, strip down naked. No. But I'm going to get a precept real quick. Okay. And just like I did a video a couple of days ago, basically explaining that when you read in the scriptures, you have to read with biblical terms, meaning you have to, what does the scriptures define naked as, or what does it define this as? And how would you do that? You use precept upon precept, see the context in which it's used in certain precepts, and use that to get the understanding. So I'm gonna show you. Let's go to Revelation 16, verse 15. All right. It says here, behold, now this is the Lord speaking. Behold, I come as a thief. Blessed is he that watcheth and keepeth his garments, lest he walk naked and they see his shame. Okay. So what is this talking about? Is it talking about literally? All right. Literally, because if who's going to be walking around naked? No. All right. But the garments are referring on to this truth. All right. Being clothed with righteousness. Okay. So the truth is what is that garments that covers you and you're not naked. If you're naked, you're without this truth. Okay. You're quote unquote profane. You're outside the temple. You're without. Okay. You're unholy. So what Aaron had done by building them that golden calf that they can worship was he had made them unholy. All right, he had made them unrighteous. So they weren't clothed with righteousness because they had gone off. All right, and on top of that, they had committed one of the biggest sins, which was idolatry. Okay. Now I'll get a couple precepts to also prove that. All right, concerning the garments being the truth. All right, or the knowledge, righteousness. Let's get this here. This is Job chapter, what's this, 19 and 14. It says here, Salakia, 29 and 14. Yeah, there it is. All right, this is Job chapter 29, verse 14. It says, let me start at 13. The blessing of him that was ready to perish came upon me, and I caused the widow's heart to sing for joy. Verse 14, I put on righteousness, and it clothed me. All right, what does a garment do? A garment clothes you. Okay, my judgment was as a robe and a diadem. Okay, so it says what? I put on righteousness, and it clothed me. Okay, just like we read so righteousness is what? You can be clothed with righteousness. Okay, that's what is referring to by those garments. So if it's not physical garments, when you read in Revelation, it says what? Let him keep his garments, all right, meaning be clothed with righteousness, keep the truth, okay, lest he walk naked, lest you be without the truth, okay, unholy, unrighteous. Because if you're the opposite of being clothed is being naked. Hence, the opposite of being clothed with righteousness is not having truth or being unholy, because righteousness makes you holy. Now let's get another precept. Psalms chapter 132, verse 9. Where you at? All right, Psalms 132 and 9. It says, I'll start at 8. Arise, O Lord, into thy rest, thou in the ark of thy strength. Let thy priests be clothed with righteousness. Once again. All right. Let thy priests be clothed with righteousness, and let thy saints shout for joy. Okay. Get another one. All right. Because you have to solidify the point. So it gets locked up in the brain. All right. Last one is Isaiah 61. What's this, verse 10? Isaiah 61, verse 10. It says, I will greatly rejoice in the Lord, my soul. I will greatly rejoice in the Lord. My soul shall be joyful in my power, for he hath clothed me with the garments of salvation. He hath covered me with the robes of righteousness, as a bridegroom decketh himself with ornaments, and as a bride adorneth herself with her jewels. So now you see how it's now you understand what context, all right, that the scriptures can refer to nakedness as, or garments as. Okay, that's why these precepts are in here. Okay, and the scriptures say, through thy precepts I gain understanding. But you need teachers to show you where the precepts are, show you how they're linked together, so you can understand it. All right. So now we understand what we just read here. We addressed the point, all right, as to why Israel specifically worshiped the golden calf, and that was when they came out of Egypt, right? Now there's another account of Israel going off again, primarily the northern kingdom, all right, worshiping golden calves again, okay, and it's not too different a story. I'm gonna get it real quick, because when you read in the Book of Kings, oftentimes as you go in the different kings, especially of the northern kingdom, go off, it'll say, and he departed not, from basically along the lines of the sin of Nabat. All right, I'm gonna see if I could find one or two of them. They'll tell you that he followed not the ways of the Lord and went according to the ways of the sins of his father Nabat, which he had made Israel to sin, and it constantly refers to Nabat. All right, which is constantly refers to Nabat and the sin that he had caused Israel to commit. Oh, I think it says Jeroboam, the son of Nabat. Right, that's what it should have said. So let me find the precept here. All right, going into what exactly did Jeroboam do that was so bad? Okay, that it kept referring on to it. First Kings chapter 11, verse 40. All right. It says here, so Solomon sought therefore to kill Jeroboam, and Jeroboam arose and fled into Egypt unto Shishak, king of Egypt, and was in Egypt until the death of Solomon. So Solomon wanted to kill Jeroboam, because remember, the prophet, was it Ahijah, had gone and he had cut Jeroboam's garment, all right, and basically prophesied onto him that he would get 10 tribes, all right, that the Lord was going to rent the kingdom, all right, from Judah, from Solomon for going off. Okay, so Jeroboam became a target, all right, that Solomon had targeted Jeroboam and he wanted to kill Jeroboam. Right now, what happened? It says Jeroboam fled into Egypt and he dwelt there until Solomon died. All right, cool. First Kings 12, verse 2. It says, and it came to pass when Jeroboam the son of Nebat, who was yet in Egypt, heard it. All right, heard of Solomon's death. Okay, for he was fled from the presence of King Solomon, and Jeroboam dwelt in Egypt. Right. So Jeroboam was dwelling in Egypt for that whole time that Solomon was dead. And what happened when Jeroboam came back? Rehoboam was there, right? And they went to Rehoboam and they said, Rehoboam, Solomon made our let me see, I think it's here. Yep. Verse 3, it says, that they sent and called him, and Jeroboam and all the congregation of Israel came and spake unto Rehoboam, because Rehoboam was the king at the time. All right. Saying, thy father made our yoke grievous. Now therefore make thou the grievousness or the grievous service of thy father and of his heavy yoke, which he put upon us lighter, and we will serve thee. And the brothers from Dallas were doing a beautiful video. They did a video on the division or the split of the kingdoms, and they went into that as to how Solomon had levies, okay, where it was basically like working without pay. You know, and they'd be working hard, man. All right, to build his house or his whatever he wanted them to build, and it was grievous upon them. Okay, and so they came and they basically said, "Yo, your father had us doing this, and that was some hard shit. Now, are you gonna make it lighter or what?" And they were saying that to Rehoboam, because at the time Rehoboam was the king of the United Kingdom. All right, and this is what caused the split. So it says, thy father made our yoke grievous. Now therefore make thou the grievous service of thy father and his yoke, which he put upon us, lighter, and we will serve thee. And he said unto them, depart yet for 3 days, then come again unto me. And the people departed. And basically the counsel he gave them was, to hell with what my father did. I'm going to do much worse. All right. Let me see. Yep. Verse 12. So Jeroboam and all the people came to Rehoboam the 3rd day, as the king had appointed, saying, come to me again the 3rd day. And the king answered the people roughly, and forsook the old man's counsel that they gave him, and spake to them after the counsel of the young men, saying, my father made your yoke heavy, and I will add to your yoke. My father also chastised you with whips, but I will chastise you with scorpions. All right. So basically, he said, whatever Solomon did, I'm going to do much worse. And this is what they did. Jeroboam and the rest of the tribes, they said, to hell with this. We don't want no parts of this. We out. We're not serving you anymore. And they made Jeroboam their ruler, their king. Okay, talking about the northern kingdom. Right now, we're going to jump down to verse 26. It says, or 25. Then Jeroboam built Shechem in Mount Ephraim and dwelt therein, and went out from thence and built Penuel. And Jeroboam said in his heart, now shall the kingdom return to the house of David, if this people go up to do sacrifice in the house of the Lord at Jerusalem. Then shall the heart of this people turn again unto their Lord, even unto Rehoboam king of Judah, and they shall kill me and go again to Rehoboam king of Judah. So he feared that if they went, because the place of worship was in Jerusalem, which is in Judah. So if the northern kingdom went there, they would have turned. They'd be like, you know what? It is what it is. Because, why are we doing all this? We still got to come here to worship with them anyway. So Jeroboam said, I can't have that happen, because then my ass is grass. Verse 28, whereupon the king took counsel and made 2 calves of gold, and said unto them, uh, it is too much for you to go up to Jerusalem. Behold thy gods, O Israel, which brought thee up out of the land of Egypt. Okay, thy gods which brought thee up out of the land of Egypt. Does that sound familiar? All right, let's jump back to Exodus and let's see if that sounds familiar. All right, Exodus 32, verse. Oh boy, let me see where it was at. Oh man. Yep. Exodus 32, verse 8. Now let's see where we've heard that phrase before. Exodus 32, and I'll read 4. And he received them at their hand and fashioned it with a graving tool after he had made it a molten calf. And they said, these be thy gods, O Israel, which brought thee up out of the land of Egypt, the golden calf. Let's jump back to 1 Kings 12 and 28. Wherefore the king took counsel and made 2 calves of gold. Once again, the calves. All right. And remember, where was this King Jeroboam dwelling? In Egypt. Okay. Where they have what? The Apis bull. It says, and said unto them, it is too much for you to go up to Jerusalem. Behold thy gods, O Israel, which brought thee up out of the land of Egypt. Talking about those golden calves. Okay. Which once again goes back to that Apis bull that was worshipped in Egypt. Okay. So yeah, that was basically the 2 accounts. All right. All right. As to why specifically, whenever they would worship a god referring back to Egypt, it was that calf or that golden calf, is because it goes back to the Apis bull, which the Egyptians worshipped. Now check this out. The scriptures say that America, all right, or Babylon is Babylon the Great is spiritually Sodom and Egypt. Because this is basically the reincarnation in the spirit of Sodom, Egypt, Babylon, all those empires before. Okay, and that's why you have places like Memphis, you know, and many other names that go back to these other empires. All right, so this is Revelation 11, verse 8. And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which is spiritually called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified. And this great city is talking about Babylon the Great, which is known today as America. Okay. Now, I'll give you an example. Let me just pull it up here. Okay. This is a company called Novo Nordisk. All right, which they have a headquarters in the U.S. as well, and it's a pharmaceutical company, right? Now check this out. It says Novo Nordisk is a Danish multinational pharmaceutical company headquartered in Denmark, with production facilities in 8 countries and affiliates of offices in 5 countries. Now I just want to hit the main point, and just so you know, this is the logo. That's the logo of the of this company called Novo Nordisk. All right, and they come out and blatantly say it. I'm gonna read it here. Novo Nordisk employs more than 40,000 people globally, and markets its products in 180 countries. The corporation was created in 1989 through a merger of 2 Danish companies, which date back to the 1920s. The Novo Nordisk logo is the Apis bull, one of the sacred animals of ancient Egypt. Okay. Novo Nordisk is a full member of the European Federation of Pharmaceutical Industries and Associations. So they blatantly have it. They said that our logo is the Apis bull. It goes back to the Egyptian god that they worshipped. And we're a pharmaceutical company here to take care of you, but we're coming in the spirit of the Egyptian gods. Okay, why? Because this place is Egypt all over again. Same is also Babylon. Is also all these other empires all over again. Rome. Okay, And when you look at the Bull of Wall Street, okay, that golden bull downtown, where do you think that goes back to? That also goes back to Apis, man. Okay, so everything, the gods and the things they have, even in today's society, is nothing new. It's recycled from the ancient world. Okay, they might give it a different name, but it goes back to the same thing. Especially with the pharmaceutical industry, they've just polished it and try to make it sound like it's some sweet new thing. No, it behind the scenes is all witchcraft. Okay, it's all witchcraft. You just have to look into it and look up the different symbols, look up the different names that they use. It all goes back to witchcraft anyway. All right, but I believe I've made my point. Okay, Lord willing, this was edifying unto the elect. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Rachakudash. Until next time, shalom.